I always thought the worst betrayals came like thunderclaps, loud, jarring, impossible to miss. But the truth is, sometimes they arrive like a whisper. Mine began on a warm Saturday evening, one of those rare spring nights when the air is just right and the wine flows too easily. We had invited a few friends over for a dinner party, nothing fancy, just a gathering to remind ourselves we still knew how to have fun. My wife, Elena, loved hosting. She had a way of making everything seem effortless, floating through the kitchen in that emerald green dress I bought her 2 birthdays ago, pouring wine with a smile that could soften the sharpest edge. I'd seen her charm a dozen rooms like this. It was one of the reasons I fell for her. That night, our living room buzzed with laughter. My best friend, Darren, was there, too tall, confident, and loud in the way that made people lean in. He'd been part of my life since college, the kind of friend who saw you at your worst and still showed up with pizza and beer the next day. Elena always liked him, said he had a spark. I used to laugh that off. Used to. Dinner went smoothly. Darren brought a bottle of Italian red that Elena couldn't stop raving about. She and Darren ended up talking most of the evening, leaning in close, laughing at jokes I didn't hear, sharing glances I didn't yet know how to read. At the time, it barely registered. Just friends, right? After dessert, I excused myself to take a few work calls. I hated doing that during gatherings, but I had a project going live that weekend. When I came back 20 minutes later, Darren was gone. "Elena, where's Darren?" I asked, pouring myself another glass. She looked up too quickly. "Oh, he got a call, work stuff. Said to tell you goodbye." Something about the way she said it, it wasn't the words, but the pause that followed. I brushed it off. The next morning, I found one of our guest towels in the downstairs bathroom, a towel we rarely used, crumpled near the floor. It smelled like Elena's perfume and something else I couldn't place. Odd, but not damning. Not yet. The following week, she was distant. Said she was tired. Said work was stressful. I tried to be supportive. Then, late Thursday night, I saw the text. I wasn't snooping, her phone lit up on the nightstand while she was in the shower. The name said Dan, but the message? "Still thinking about the way you looked in that dress. Can't wait to feel you again." I felt the blood drain from my face. My mind scrambled, maybe it was someone else, maybe Dan was just a friend. But deep down, I already knew. My wife, my Elena, had betrayed me. And it happened right under my roof. During our dinner party. With my best friend. The next few days were a haze of routine and suspicion. I didn't confront her right away. I needed more than a text. I needed clarity, something real. The kind of truth you can't talk your way out of. So I waited. Observed. Elena wasn't careful. She'd been bold, maybe emboldened by my past indifference or the secrecy of that night. But after years together, I knew her patterns. And she was off. Late returns from the office. Suddenly private with her phone. Nervous laughter at nothing. It took less than a week for the opportunity to fall into my lap. Darren messaged me, casual as ever, inviting me to a poker night at his place. Said a few of the old crew were coming. I agreed, though I knew I had no intention of showing up. Instead, I told Elena I'd be working late. She barely blinked before saying she was going to grab drinks with the girls. But when I looped back home an hour after she left, she wasn't there. I drove past the bar where she claimed she'd be. Her car wasn't in the lot. My gut told me exactly where she was. I headed to Darren's place. I parked a few houses down, heart hammering as I walked the dark sidewalk. His front lights were on. One shadow moved inside, then another. I slipped around the side of the house, not fully sure what I was even looking for. Hoping I was wrong. I wasn't. Through the slats of his blinds, I saw them. Elena. On his couch. Her legs across his lap, her head tilted back in laughter. Darren leaned in, touched her hair. Then kissed her. Not a quick peck, slow, deliberate, the kind of kiss you give someone who already belongs to you. I didn't move. Couldn't. I stood there long enough for the nausea to settle in, for my hands to stop shaking. I'd seen enough. Back home, I sat on the edge of our bed and waited. She came in just after midnight. Lipstick reapplied, heels in hand, cheeks flushed from wine or affection, maybe both. When she saw me, she froze. "Hey," she said softly. "What are you doing up?" I didn't yell. I didn't accuse. I just said, "Did you have fun at Darren's?" The way her face changed, shock, then shame, then defense, was all the confirmation I needed. No lies this time, no deflection. She sank to the floor, whispering, "I didn't mean for it to happen." But that wasn't true. She meant every step. Every glance, every brush of the hand that night at our dinner party. She wanted it. And she had it. I didn't cry. I just stood up, walked to the dresser, and pulled out the envelope I had already prepared, a list of her things, instructions, a note saying I needed space. That I would file in the morning. "You had a choice, Elena," I said. "And you made it. You don't get to make mine." She didn't chase after me. The weeks that followed were the slow process of untangling a life. Friends choosing sides. Family pretending not to know. The usual heartbreak. But there was a freedom too. A painful, raw clarity. For the first time in years, I was truly alone. And that meant I could finally rebuild. Maybe not stronger, not yet. But honest. Because sometimes, the worst betrayals don't scream. They whisper. And once you hear them, you never forget the sound.